Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Grow Wealthy Grooming. I am your host, River Lee of the Savvy Groomer. So I'm hoping you guys can hear me right now. Just let me know if you guys can hear me or if you need anything. I apologize. I'm hoping that everything is streaming properly, but I guess we'll find out. So at the Savvy Groomer, too many groomers they own a job and not a business. At Savvy Groomer, we teach pet professionals how to make simple changes in their business so they can grow a business that is successful. At Savvy Groomer, we know you want to be the savvy pet professional with a business you can be proud of. In order to do that, you need to know how to manage your business so that you own a business and not a job. Thank you, LRJ88. You're saying you're coming in through just fine. Perfect. The problem is your lots of advice doesn't actually make a difference. That makes you feel frustrated, overwhelmed, and like a failure. You've been putting in all the effort, but you don't have anything to show for it. We believe that no one's dream should fail. I understand I went from learning my business knowledge outside the grooming industry or the hard way, unfortunately. I use my expertise to grow clients internationally and have a proven track record. So I want to thank you guys all for being here at this moment. This week we are going to, I apologize, I have updated some of my, it's funny because every time I'm able to organize my just when I think everything is working phenomenally on OBS, which is the way that we are streaming all of this and streaming it through Caster Live. Things don't quite work, but that's okay. So today's topic is going to be on protecting your client list. And I will, after this stream is done, go ahead and add in the picture that would normally be there. So you might be asking yourself, what do you mean by having a client list? So I want to welcome you guys. So LRJ88, thank you for being here. Ann Thompson, it's lovely to see you here. So when I talk about your client list, what I am talking about is the clientele that you have currently in your business. Now, for some of you guys that own a shop versus a mobile, you're going to have a list of people that are in your Rolodex. So when I had my grooming salon, I had about 1,200 clients. Now, these were clients that would come in every 4 weeks to anywhere between that and once a year. And now as a mobile business owner, all of my clients are done about every 4 weeks. Sometimes clients are a little late, a little early, things like that. But I would say that most of my clients are about every 4 weeks. So when I talk about protecting your client list, what I'm saying is to be able to protect it from, and I guess this sounds a little crude, but protecting it from your employees. So for you guys that are solopreneurs, I know a lot of you guys are saying, why do I need to protect my client list? If you are the only person in your business, you don't have to protect your client list because there's no one to potentially steal clients. However, I'm so sorry. Woo! I feel like I'm getting old. It is only 7 o'clock and it feels like 10 o'clock here. I apologize, guys, sincerely for feeling like I need a nap. So you have to forgive me today. Whew. I actually had a great day where I did a bunch of things and my brain is just fried. So I'm very sorry. I'm going to do my best. So give a girl a little bit of grace today. So if you're a solopreneur, which by that I mean you are the owner operator. So you're the owner of the business. You are the person that is grooming all of the dogs or cats. You generally don't have to worry about your client list. I am so sorry for yawning. I am just exhausted. So again, I apologize. Now, if you are the kind of person that has an employer, consider having an employee. What you need to do is protect your client list. And so how do you begin to do that? And if you are a solopreneur and you're ever considering adding clientele, this is going to be a major shift in your business, because right now, if you are, again, I'm sorry. I know it is, I don't know if you guys are in the Northeast at all, but you're probably not. But where I am right now, it has been raining all day. I have been up for over 24 hours. I have, Tony Robbins did this amazing 6-day, which today is the 7th day, build your business up, comeback challenge. And I have been watching all this challenge. And I have just, honestly, I wouldn't even pretend otherwise. I'm just exhausted. And just like all of us other business owners, as you guys know, I actually added my second employee, but I have one other groomer employee. And because of my grooming and all that, I am just running myself a little ragged, which happens from time to time. Sometimes we run ourselves past the point where we are at our peak. And today I'm not at my peak, so I apologize. Normally I am bubbly and happy and excited, and today I am just trying to make things happen. So again, I always apologize. LRJ88 says it's no worries. So I really appreciate that. So I'm going to keep yawning, and I apologize. I honestly could fall asleep right now if I had the opportunity. And after my live today, I will probably honestly crawl in bed and take a nap. Which, it is what it is. So, protecting our client list, guys. We want to keep our clients loyal to the list. So if you are a solopreneur, you always want to run your business like you're going to grow your business. For those of you guys that have not read the book, The E-Myth, I would highly suggest it. The E-Myth, or the E-Myth Revisited, is all about creating a business as if you're going to run a franchise, which I know sounds really silly because most of us don't want to run a franchise. I know I have no interest in running a franchise. But running a business as a franchise, what that is going to do is it is going to allow you to build a business assuming that you are going to fill in the gaps. And what do I mean by that? When you fill in the gaps, I know, it's like, wake up. So when you're filling in the gaps, what you're going to do is you are going to figure out exactly what needs to be run. So I'm going to use the example of my business. So I am a mobile grooming business. So as a mobile grooming business, what I am going to do each time is I am going to figure out what I need as a client. So at first we're thinking, okay, so that person needs to book an appointment, get to the client, room, all of that. It seems very simple. However, as we grow as a business, we know there are other things. Things like creating client loyalty. Things like creating... I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry, guys. You guys are going to have to deal with the fact that I am literally trying hard not to fall asleep on this call again. I sincerely apologize. It is what it is. Sometimes we are not at our peak. So, the brand loyalty for me begins at keeping the clients loyal to the business and not to another groomer. What does that mean? So a lot of you guys have your groomers checking in and out clients. You have your groomers going to clients, creating that connection. And I understand why you want to do that. You want your groomer in order to build your brand. So with my employee, the reason that I say that I do not have them create loyalty to my groomer is pretty simple. So my groomer goes to a client. Now remember, I am feeling exclusive and mobile. I do not want my employee to be the person that they only want their pet to be groomed by. I do not want my groomer to have their phone number. I do not want my groomer to be connected to them emotionally. Now, I am very blessed in the sense that my groomer is probably not going to open their own business. However, a lot of us that owns a salon, that owns a mobile, it is very possible that our groomer is going to go ahead and open a small business. Why? To put it politely, it's because most groomers assume that the best thing they can do is go open a business. A lot of times, most of us have been told that the only way to make money in the grooming industry is to open our own business, which is not the truth. There are plenty of opportunities as an employee to make a great living. That said, a lot of us have decided that the only way we're going to earn enough money is to open our own business. Now, if you own a small business, obviously you don't want to pay someone to grow a loyal following and then turn around and open their own business. This happens a lot when people work for Petco, PetSmart. They work for a company like that, especially because it's easier to screw over corporate situations. So what they do is they work for PetSmart, work for Petco, or another company, and they have the clientele rebook with them, which actually a lot of these companies encourage. And then what happens is, unfortunately, that company decides to create loyalty in the groomer. So when the groomer is ready to either open their own salon or buy their own mobile or work for somebody else, where do the clients go? They follow the groomer. And a lot of us that own our own small business, when we hire groomers, we tend to be a little cautious with hiring groomers because of this thing. And a lot of us have done this. I know, not when I was grooming, but when I was a dog trainer, I remember going from Petco to a doggy daycare that I was managing. And what I did was, I had a list of at least 200 names. And I called them all. And I said, hey, if you would like to come here, we're going to have agility. We're going to have this. We're going to have that. We would love to see you. And a lot of those clients were loyal to me and not Petco. Why? Because of the way that I trained their dogs and the way that I had gone above and beyond to create a connection. So when we are trying to protect our client list, I want you to think that why would your clients be loyal to the business rather than just loyal to your groomer? And this is going to be a very tough situation for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys honestly have built up a business that relies heavily on your groomers or your employees to step up to the plate. In a perfect world, we'd get to number 2, which is try really hard to have employees have minimal contact. And I know this is going to be really tough. A lot of you guys ask your employees, especially your grooming employees, to book clients in and go ahead and not just rebook with them, book in with them, but also go ahead and book specifically with them. Megan is saying, yeah, loyalty to the groomer in those situations versus loyalty to the salon business. And I know how hard it is for you guys. I'm trying to be a little PC here. I know how hard it is for everyone to understand this, but it's in a perfect world. So I will say, let me use an example. And again, I'm trying not to hurt anyone's feelings because I know we have a lot of grooming employees that listen to this, and I don't want you guys to feel like the employers are saying you're a bad person. You're not a bad person. The truth is that a lot of you guys have a lot of talent, but as a business owner, my client list is mine. It is legally mine. It is an asset of the business. So I want you guys to remember that if you guys are grooming employees. If you're a grooming business owner, you really want your groomers or your bathers to have minimal contact with your groomers. And again, I know this is a really uncomfortable conversation, but the groomers need to understand that their job is to perform a service and not to create a bond with that customer. And the reason why is because if that groomer decides to leave, they're going to take your clients with them. If you want them to create a relationship, they're going to feel ownership of that clientele. And I understand that's not easy, and I understand it's really uncomfortable to admit, but that is the truth of what is going to happen. So as a business owner, you need to protect what you have spent a lot of money probably to create in your business. And I know it's not easy. And feel free, guys, I really appreciate Megan and LRJ8. Go ahead and comment if you guys want. I'm trying my very best to not step on too many toes in this conversation because I do understand that this is a hard conversation to have. It is an uncomfortable conversation to have. And I just want to make sure that you guys are all on the same page. You may disagree with me. That is always an opportunity and a conversation we can have as a group. But I think that it is an uncomfortable conversation that we all need to have. So when you're protecting your client list, I want you business owners to remember that that is an asset of the business. Now, if a client takes their business to another groomer, you have no say. However, if a groomer steals a groomer, a grooming employee, now part of that, and again, I want to backtrack. I want to say that I'm assuming that you're hiring legally a W-2 employee. Now, if you choose to hire illegally, which is a 1099 employee, that clientele actually has every right to quote unquote be owned by the 1099 employee. And I hate using 1099 employees. So you can't have a 1099 who's your employee. A 1099 is an independent contractor. And then in the pet industry, it is very difficult to have a 1099 employee. I should not say employee, I'm so sorry. A 1099 independent contractor. So a 1099 independent contractor, they own the client list versus a W-2 employee. A W-2 employee is an employee of the business, therefore they do not own the assets of the business. If you want to illegally hire a groomer, which would be a 1099 independent contractor, they're basically their own small business. Now, any client that they get into contact with, they own. And I know sometimes you guys feel like that's splitting hairs, but basically, if you're going to pay someone's taxes, they don't get the clientele. As you guys know, I really don't suggest you having any 1099 employees, which are really independent contractors, as I genuinely feel that the likelihood that you guys will have legal 1099s. Now, this would be no different than if you had a grooming. So if you had a grooming salon within a vet office, that is when you would be a legal 1099. That person would own all of the contacts that they created. However, you're just a groomer who is a W-2 employee and you're working in a grooming salon, a lot of you guys want to hear that those clients are yours, even if you've created this really close bond. And I understand what that feels like. It was really hard when I sold my grooming salon and I went mobile, because a lot of those clients I felt very connected to. But that didn't mean that they were legally mine. And even when I worked for Petco, I worked for PetSmart, I worked for Pet Supplies Plus, all of these amazing companies, I didn't own those clients. And I know clients don't want to hear that they're owned by a company, but what you have to remember is that that company pays money in order to create that client list to present you with those clients. And often as an employee groomer, we don't want to hear that. We want to hear that we've wowed them with our services. But the truth is that that money and that loyalty belongs to the business. Again, that is not easy to hear, but that is the truth. And there are legal ways of getting around that. And that is what you need to hire a business coach for, and potentially hire a lawyer for, because that can get really sticky. But in the meantime, I want you guys to consider, when you're leaving a business, what you owe to your ex-employer. Now, for your employers, again, and I hope I'm not jumping around too much. If you guys have any questions beyond this, I want to wrap up in the next 10 minutes. Feel free to type in the chat box any questions you have. And I'm trying to stay on task. This is a very broad topic, and I'm trying to keep it nice and tight. But I want to make sure that you guys understand what I'm saying, because I have been both the employer and the employee, and I see it from both sides. I see the employee side where I want to take clients and move on because I adore them and they feel like my family. And I understand the business side where I have invested money in these clients and I want to retain them. So I see it from both sides. LRJ says, just taking it in for now. It is a lot, and I intentionally am giving you guys both sides, whether you're an employer or an employee, because depending upon what is in your non-compete with your employees, your W-2 employees, and if you guys are a 1099 independent contractor, that is where things get sticky. So Ashley Steele is saying, if I have a mobile employee, I'm just going to pull this open a little bit better. How do you keep contact info from the groomer, like if you use a program like Mogo? So I use Mogo personally, and I don't know if you guys know this, I own a Feeling Exclusive mobile business. However, as I'm growing, I am seriously considering, I have one groomer employee, and then I have another employee who is going to be taking over all of my backdoor stuff. It is going to be with Mogo. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this. So the way I have done this personally with Mogo, and again, I'm always open to you guys if you guys have other suggestions. Mogo allows you to set different tiers of employees. So my groomer, who I adore and I totally trust, she has the ability to message my clients, but the clients, she doesn't get the phone number for the clients. So I forget what tier it's called, but there's like admin, and then there's like some sort of manager, and then there's another tier. The tier she's on, and again, I trust this person, but I spent a lot of time building a Feeling Exclusive mobile business. My mobile business is cat clients, $100 to $200 a month every 4 weeks. The last thing I want to do is build a clientele that my groomer is then going to steal. And I know it sounds really petty, but I don't want to just hand them a clientele. I would rather hand them, in the sense that I don't want to hand them a clientele that they're then going to just go buy a van and go open their own business. So in Mogo, they can message a client, but they don't have access to that client. Now, you will always take a chance in mobile where they're going to circumvent you and ask those questions. But I actually have some quick tips, and I don't want to go too far over 30 minutes, but let me give you some tips I do really quick. So to protect my client list and to make sure clients are loyal to Rhode Island Cat Grooming, what I do is I call my clients 2 days after their appointment to confirm that they had a great appointment and that they're happy with their groomer. And I do that. Now, I will have my receptionist going forward do that. I had a VA who is going to step into a more permanent role as I'm growing. So what they're going to do is go ahead and call the client and say, hey, I saw that, insert name. So Sally saw you. Did Sally do a great job? Is there anything that you would like us to do differently? And we write handwritten thank you notes from the grooming business. Every new client gets a handwritten thank you note. Thank you so much from Rhode Island Cat Grooming. We would love to know if there's anything that we can do to make your business go above and beyond. If there's anything you need, reach out to us. Now, that groomer is not writing those things. That groomer really doesn't have time to do these things. She's already cleaning the van, grooming, doing all those things. She doesn't have time to create brand loyalty. And that really does create some distance and loyalty to the business. Melissa Hall, who is a good friend of mine, has a lot of great examples of what creates business loyalty and how to create a great business with employees. I don't know if you guys are going to watch the cat grooming virtual conference, which is going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I will be there speaking about systems and things like that. Like, I actually have automated a lot of the back end of my business, and I'm really excited to share all of that with you guys. But that is obviously, you guys sign up for that conference, and if you don't worry, there are plenty of other things that are going to be shared. But Melissa Hall, I'm looking forward to one of her classes. She's going to share how she creates those long-term loyalty with her clients as well as her employees. Ann Thompson says, I've had a client list stolen before. Sucks. You need to be careful and never fully trust employees. What we have to remember as employers is that we are a part of someone's journey. I have been, like I said, watching Tony Robbins' 6-day event where he has been explaining all the things he's done. And more than once, he has been mentored by someone. And we should remember, we are part of their story. We are not their story. We are a part of their story. And I don't really want to build somebody up like that for them to steal a part of my business. And so when I talk about protecting a business list, what I want you guys to remember, and again, I want to be sensitive to everyone, and that's really hard for me. I can see it from all perspectives. I have been there with somebody as my own business owner more than once, both as a grooming salon owner. We were doing 40 dogs a day, and I've had groomers leave and rob me blind. And then I have been the groomer who was very passionate about all these clients that I just adored and I didn't want to leave without. So I understand from both perspectives. So when I talk to my business owners, we generally build up a healthy system in place, and it's going to really depend upon your goals, your employees, what exactly you want to do, and how to automate all of that, and how to create loyalty to the business, but also protect it. And like I said, Ashley Steele, using Mogo, it's actually very easy because a lot of their settings are based upon if there are an admin. So I have myself and my VA as my admin, And then my groomer, again, I forget there's 2 tiers underneath admin. Woo! Getting old, guys, sorry. But the one that they cannot see the actual phone number, they can message the client, but they can't take that information. And that's what I have them under. And I do that very strategically because as much as I adore them, as much as I trust them, as Anna said, it really sucks when your client list has been stolen. And it's not that hard. I think one of the worst stories I ever heard was actually a local groomer who she was in the middle of, she had owned a grooming salon for about two and a half years. And for somebody who owned a grooming salon for two and a half years, she owned the Motley Crew. They had been voted top 10 in Rhode Island, which I know is a small state, but it was still pretty important. And so she was, at that time, building out her grooming boarding daycare facility. And basically what happened to her was her employees decided to mutiny, and they had all of them quit her business, and she was in the process of moving, but they had contacted the landlord behind her back, and she had not moved all of her assets yet. So they had all of her grooming tubs, everything. Long story short, and I'm sorry if I sound really sad. Long story short, they messaged every single one of her clients so that they were opening up as details, which that's what the employees called their new business. And this woman had to close her new business, which was a grooming daycare boarding facility, because this new business that was run by her employees, almost all of her clientele were confused but knew these groomers. So they decided to stay with the new groomer because they liked the facility, they liked the groomers, and they decided to stay. And I tell people that story because I think it's really sad. I think it's really sad because I can't even imagine being the business owner who built out that facility. Now, and that's also why you guys have heard me. If you haven't heard me before, I will say again. When you leave a grooming business, you rip everything out and you put it back to normal. Because she had basically paid to build out her employees' new business. And she had given free access to people she trusted to send her employees. They sent out a, hey, stay with us. And so I want you guys to really consider how to protect your client list, why you should protect your client list. And I will always say, guys, that I am a resource if you guys are looking for a business coach. Mary Kwanda is a great business coach. Danielle German's a great business coach. Hire a business coach to help you protect your client list when you are ready to hire employees. Because we're more than worth the money. When you have an employee, your employee is going to do what they feel is best. And most groomers do not realize the beneficial relationship they have with their owners. You know, as you may or may not know, I'm in the process of writing a book all about, before you open a grooming business, all of the things that you should do. And a lot of that is appreciate working for somebody else. Because I will say, as a business owner, I remember working for other people. And I remember what I liked, what I did not like. And that is so important, guys. Understand what you do like and what you don't like, because it allows you to build the business that you enjoy. Too many people run from their old business, as in their employer, to running their own business, and they don't understand the benefits of being an employee. And those of us that have employees, we have to protect our business from those people, Because the truth is that we are just a stepping stone on their journey. And that's okay. I want to be part of someone's journey. I'm not going to take it personally. You know, as somebody who's been in the pet industry, I got to do the math. God, I'm old. Like, what is that? Jesus. I'm like, over 15 years. I'm like, I'm getting old here, guys. In 15 years, I have worked for people. I have worked for myself. And when I've worked for other people, they were never going to be my boss forever. They just weren't. Because I had my own journey that I wanted to go on. They did. And I'm very grateful they were part of my journey. Sorry guys, yawning again. So when you hire someone, you need to be okay with the fact that you're going to be on their journey and at the same time protect your client list. And this is where I highly suggest hiring a business coach. A business coach is going to help you differentiate what is a normal transition of an employee versus how to protect your business. It doesn't need to be me. There are lots of other amazing business coaches. So that is all of the things I want to talk about today. I really appreciate you guys being here and listening. Again, I apologize that a lot of times our technical side is gonna do what it's gonna do, and I'm feeling exhausted. I found out there are 3 planets in retrograde. As you guys know, I am a little granola crunchy. Maybe not like super granola crunchy, but pretty granola crunchy. And I thought it was fascinating that not 1, but 3 different planets are in retrograde. And they're not going to be out of retrograde till Wednesday. I personally just feel emotionally drained. I have been doing a lot in my business. And like I said, if you guys have not signed up for the cat grooming, it's called the Badass Cat Conference. I think there's nothing cooler than that. If you guys are interested in cat grooming, you've not signed up for that, I would highly sign up for that. I'm going to see what other things are currently working in my computer. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. All right, so if you guys have not already, I want you guys to go ahead and sign up for my free Facebook group, which is called the Savvy Pet Professionals. Just look up facebook.com/group/Savvy Groomer. That is going to go ahead and get you guys to our group. The nice thing about that is that it allows you guys to come into the group, ask questions. I do see some questions here, and I really appreciate them, and I always answer them the best I can. But that is going to get you the best conversations that we can get. I also stream this show live. I always appreciate you guys coming into the YouTube chat boxes where I answer questions. So you guys that are watching in our Facebook groups, unfortunately, if you are posting questions or comments, I appreciate them. But it is only the YouTube questions and comments that I'm able to answer during our live stream. So guys, I want to thank you so much for being here. It has really meant a lot to me. And I know that, sometimes our lives don't always go perfect, but we do our best. Sometimes they work great, and all of my... I know, it's so hard. It's funny because I'm like the Energizer Bunny, but today your girl is just ready to take a long nap. And that is exactly what I am going to do when I get off this call, because I have been doing a lot for Savvy Groomer, for Rhode Island Cat Grooming, and then with all of these conferences coming up. For those guys that don't know, I will be doing the virtual cat grooming conference. I will be at Atlanta Pet Fair in 2021, as well as Super Zoo. So I am really excited to be a part of all of those. But that means that your girl is doing a lot of work. It'll be worth it. So again, if you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them below or in my YouTube, Facebook channel, whichever you prefer, and I will get back to you guys shortly. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. I hope you have a great evening and happy grooming.